Hey guys, actually kind of plugging back in just to make a couple of comments. Um, One being kind of geoengineering, chemtrails, and then the other one just being our political establishment and President Trump specifically. Number one, chemtrails, geoengineering, whatever you want to call it. It's kind of sad, but this morning I woke up and it was crystal blue skies. Went for a walk and I immediately started seeing trails being laid. I mean, clearly evidential kind of trails being laid, and it's sad, because you got a beautiful day and you've got this going on, and it's kind of frustrating not knowing the reality behind what's going on there. If it's good or bad or indifferent, I think if they would just tell us, that would be one thing. But the other thing too, and the establishment has done a fantastic job of this, and that is enabling everyone with technology to a point where they just don't look up. They just don't. I say, if I were to say anything to people out there that are blind to what's going on, I say, hey, put the devices down and just look up occasionally, and you might be amazed at what you may be awakened to. I went to the car wash, and while I was waiting on my car being washed, I'm looking up at these trails, and it was just blatantly obvious that it wasn't natural occurrences that were going on. And everyone around waiting on their cars to be watched were looking at their devices. Everyone. I mean, it's sad. I do try to encourage my kids when we go out for dinner or something like that, leave your devices at home so we can talk and what have you. But just and one of my kids is probably a little bit better about it than the other one. But be that as it may, we're such slaves to our devices and looking down and not paying attention to what's around you. It's an epidemic. It really is. I think the powers that be, Big Brother, if you will, has done a really good job of kind of getting us all wired into this central system that we're slaves to, and knowing and controlling everything we do, from propaganda all the way through to what they put out in front of us like carrots. But anyway, that's a long narrative and what have you. But I just thought I'd kind of make that point out there. Just look up, put your devices down and look up, pay attention, and just see what's going on. Every once in a while, I'll kind of go out on a limb and I'll ask somebody if they know what that is, tracking up in the skies. Do they realize that's not natural? And they're completely oblivious and like, no, I had no idea. But I don't go any further than that. So I don't want to sour relationships or what have you. It's to each his own to make their own decisions and open their eyes or don't. The other thing, and that is just, it's funny. I don't watch mainstream media. I don't watch the news. I do kind of watch alternative media. I watch YouTube, and I listen to anything and everything people talk about, and that's where I get my news. And frankly, Twitter. I pay attention to President Trump's tweets. I watch Golden State Times is phenomenal because they're always doing live broadcasts of anything coming out of the White House and in Washington. If you want to know what's going on daily, someone is talking, even if it is President Trump, talking to you, the people, responding to the media's stupid ass questions, but he still responds to them, and he's got patience beyond anything I've ever imagined. Most of these people I would completely lose it with. But we all kind of take it for granted now, but have you ever had a leader in place that was so open and transparent and told you exactly what he was thinking and what he was doing, and basically attempting to run the country as you would a organization, which frankly is what I've been looking for as long as I can remember and as long as I've been voting. Someone that looks at a balance sheet and operates and works towards a balanced budget, somebody that hires and fires people according to value. Basically look at our country as an organization, look for value, where are things broken, where are things not broken, and fix them. I mean, he is a bulldog, and he's doing it. Love him or hate him, he's doing exactly that. And I personally just love it. I've been looking for a president, someone for a long time to go in there and, frankly, for lack of a better term, just kick ass and take names. And you're either on the bus or you're not on the bus, depending on whether you're part of the team or not. If you're not part of the team, if you're not thinking and operating towards the value and the vision we have, then you're off the bus. Good to great. Quote from that book. Love that book. In any event, every day, and I was just watching President Trump. I don't remember what the venue was he was speaking towards. It was about community opportunities and jobs, and kind of working towards that. So he's always doing something, working towards something that's trying to work towards that vision that he talks about all the time, and I just love it. I think people take for granted, how his openness and transparent, and they don't realize we just never had a president that operates and functions this way. Don't listen to the mainstream media. I think there's way too many people out there that simply listen to the emotional narrative of the mainstream media and opinions about his personality and things he does, and they don't look at the actions behind what he's doing. If you look at the actions behind what he's doing, everything is for the common good. And race, religion, creed, it doesn't really matter. He is operating towards the betterment of everybody. So, I don't know. I just felt compelled to get on here and just put two messages out there. Number one, put your devices down and just look up. There's a lot of shit happening up in the skies. It was a beautiful blue sky today. And now, let me see if you can see this. Just clouds, and it's not even a normal cloud that I grew up with, so it's completely blocked out, and they were just laying tracks like crazy today. It's disappointing and frustrating, and I follow a lot of stuff out there, and I have inklings and suspicions around what they're trying to hide, but be that as it may, just look up. Just try to be more aware of your surroundings and what's going on. And then the other thing is, don't listen to the mainstream media emotional narrative and opinionated news about what they think about the president, and just look at what he's doing. I talk to people sometimes so casually when I'm traveling, and they may lay the point out there that they don't like him, and when I pin them down on why they don't like him, why they don't like him, it tends to be a very thinly veiled emotional feeling about him. And I'm like, well, your daughter's not marrying this guy. You're not going out to dinner with him. You're not looking to be buddies and watch football with him. What you need to look at is, what is he substantively doing? And frankly, I see him doing a lot of value, and he's completely transparent about it. You get on there and listen to him, listen to the White House, and it's just an exhaustive inventory, one thing after another, of things that he's doing, things that are getting done, and things he's accomplishing. You listen to the other side of that equation, and it's all emotional, anti-Semitism, racism. What is Nancy Pelosi and Congress doing substantively to benefit you? If there's anybody out there that is a deep state left wing, and I don't like to use the word left wing because to me it's all deep state, it's left and right. But for those of you who are pro Nancy Pelosi, pro Omar, pro Ocasio-Cortez, pro Schumer, pro these people, ask yourself, what have they done for you? They're there to make our country better. They're there to make your life better. What are they doing besides fighting the good fight for you to not give him any wins? It's a sad state we're in. So anyway, as you know, I don't like to do long, exhaustive things. Just kind of put some quick pointers out there. Love to hear back from you. Any comments you may have, and again, I'll continue to encourage you to put videos and your voice out there as well. I think the more voices, the better, because those people that are getting big out there, and I'm not necessarily looking to get big. I just like to voice a perspective now that I'm getting a little more comfortable with this. But I mean, these people are all in jeopardy of being shut down, and they can't say and speak to a lot of the things that I think are very top of mind and very poignant and very pivotal today. If they use any certain buzzwords that are key, they can potentially get shut down. Whereas people like myself, who has very few followers, if any, we're nothing. So they're not going to bother. If they shut me down, fine. I don't really care. But I think it's important that more and more voices get out there and just kind of speak to the obvious truths that are starting to materialize. Just a kind of a closing point on that end, you know, with the church fire and collapse in Paris earlier this week. I mean, Fox News, who I do pay attention to a little bit, I'm getting more and more to the point where I don't pay attention to them at all. Shep Smith, who I don't listen to, his voice just grates on me. As soon as I see him, I turn the channel. And then Neil Cavuto, who I've always had some kind of respect for him. He seemed to be a fair-minded individual, but they had each of them had people, experts from Europe and France and the Paris area, call in speaking to what's going on there. And as soon as they started talking about, you know, what's happening with the Catholic churches across the country, with fires, with damage being inflicted, they shut them down and say, we're not going to go there. So, I mean, even they are kind of going off the deep. I guess my point there is, you know, it's outlets like this that bring that truth to the public. And I think if we all start talking and acknowledging and talking about it, that's where reality is going to be infused into the people out there that are blind and don't know what's going on. So I think we need to do that. Anyway, hopefully my walking around my driveway is not bothering you too much. It's kind of beautiful out here, even though my blue sky is gone. But I like to walk and talk, so hopefully this was of value, and hopefully it inspires you to do the same thing. Talk to you soon.